and I haven't told this deer story online or anything. So if you guys want, I could share the whole
Hit
story
it.
if you'd like.
Hit it, man.
Dude, it's a fun story, and I haven't posted on YouTube, and I'll explain it all right now so you guys understand.
Is this the deer you were hunting when we were out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Big Tony.
Yep.
So I go there, and the guy's like, "Well, I hunt," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "I understand." He's like, "But I don't care about the deer. I just want the meat." And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Would you like some elk meat?" I'm like, "Do you want some does?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you can have the meat off the deer. Like, that's cool." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to shoot him." I'm like, "That's fine." He's like, "I don't know. He's probably all nasty." So he's going back and forth with it, right? And so I was like, "How about we just meet?" And I was like, he's like, "Yeah, okay, you can come on out." So I drive out there. I meet the guy. I hang out with him for like 4 hours. He's like, "What's this deer worth?" I'm like, I'll stop you there. If you're trying to sell this deer, I'm not your guy. So I'm not going to pay for it." I was like, "If you'll lease me the ground, I'd be interested." He's like, and again, excuse my language. He's like, "Fuck that." He's like, "If I lease you, then I'm your bitch." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, and he's like, no one controls me on my own farm. If I want to go out there and take a piss right in front of your trail camera, I'm going to do it. If I want to ride my dirt bikes around, because he rode motocross.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. No one controls me. So I'm not leasing it. I'm like, well, that's cool. And so I was like, but I'm like, "Would you let me hunt this buck?" He's like, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll let you hunt it." I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." I said, "Now, what are the rules?" He's like, because he owned about 160 acres there. And he owned a big primo section of timber where the deer was coming out of. He's like, "You can hunt right here by my house." And I was like in the timber and stuff. He's like, no, my brother-in-law hunts back there. I don't want you going in there." I'm like, so there was this little field, dude. It's like his yard.
That's so funny how they think about that. They're like, "Well, you can hunt this here." You're like, "Okay."
That's literally what it is. He's like, "You can hunt here and then across the road." I'm like, and I look across the road. It's a big field. It's just a field, but it's got a big river system in it. And it kind of butts up against the nasty little think of like in Kansas where the big trees are kind of in the river.
Yep.
And so I'm like, "Okay, that's good. That's good." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "But you can hunt by my house and then right there, but you can't go in the timber because my brother-in-law hunts in there." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm like dying inside because the timber is like perfect.
Yeah.
And so his brother accesses it from the other side. And I'm like, "Okay, sweet." And I said, "Listen, I got permission like on October 23rd. And so I said, "Listen, the only way that I'm going to be able to kill this deer is if I hunt him every single day until November 15th. Are you going to be okay with me coming in and out of your property until November 15th?" And I said, "It will be every single day. It'll be either in the morning or in the evening, but it will be every day. Are you okay with that?" He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, that's fine." He's like, "Also, by the way, on November 3rd, down there where that cornfield is," because he was going into that ag field, he's like, "I'm hosting a Red Bull dirt bike race. So from now until then, I'm building a racetrack down there in the field." I'm like, "Oh, great. Awesome." So now I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Are you going to work on it every day?" He's like, "Every day," because he rode motocross. And so I'm like, so basically all I have is this 11 acres, right? Which is his freaking field in his backyard. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And this is the middle of the country. I mean, there's no city anywhere near. The closest city is like 20 miles. So this is not urban at all. And so literally it's like up on this hill. But the reason this deer lived here is because a massive tornado had went through that area a few years ago, and it killed like 7 people. It was like an F5, but it took the top halves of the trees and just ripped them off. And so what that does is then it creates all these sprouts in the stumps. So they're just crazy thick, crazy food available, and it grew this giant deer. And so I'm sitting there and I put the blind like right next because it had wiped out the house where that was on there, that tornado did. So that spring he had put like this little mobile home trailer there.
Yep.
And so how I hunted, I was originally further back in the property, but my access was crap. So I literally put the blind right next to his house, like there, and I could park and get in and get out. And so I was like, "This is the only way I can hunt this year." So literally I'm sitting here and he would go by the house, like on one side or the other. They treated it like a deer blind. And because he didn't live there full time at that time. So it was, for the year prior, it wasn't even there. He put it there that spring. And so he was living there, but he also went to Mexico after his race. So he went down to Mexico a lot, so then the house would be empty. And so the deer treated it kind of like a deer blind. Yeah, so I'm like, okay,
you
this
boys
is
like
cool.
Mexico?
You boys like Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. So I hunted that thing every day, and then the neighbors find out that I'm hunting. The guy across the street,
Yeah.
and this dude had, I don't know, thousands and thousands of acres.
Mm.
He's part of one of the richest families in Iowa. I don't want to say his
Mm.
name.
Mm.
So he saw my blind and freaking lost his mind. And so then they starts this feud with the landowner. But this guy, you can hear from how the first conversation went about like leasing ground
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff. Because I just wanted to have the private land where no one would screw up my shit. But he let a lot of people hunt. And so it's like, so I'm sitting here hunting this, and so then this feud happens, but it triggers him, and he gets pissed off at this guy. So then they're like cussing at each other, and I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. And because he wanted to kick me off, I'm like, listen, dude, I've invested so much time into this. This is like the 1st of November. I'm like, give me until the 15th. If you can just give me till the 15th, then I'll be done. Because then if I don't kill him, then I'm not going to kill him at all.
Josh, had you
you know?
had you approached this bigger landowner, or is there a known like, hey, there's no way that they outfitted or whatever they're doing?
No, he owned all the land, but he let his grandson hunt, and his grandson was trying to kill this deer as well.
Okay.
And so there was absolutely zero hunting allowed
Okay.
on that other guy because his kids and stuff hunted.
Yep.
And so now all I'm stuck is this 11 acres. And so literally I hunt him every single day. He comes in after dark. I'm getting pictures of him, working. How I actually set this up, it's kind of like yours to get him close into bow range. I brought this giant ass bale, this big hay bale. It wasn't hay, it was like grass or something. And then I zip tied a big limb off the hay bale, and then they made a scrape right there.
Wow.
And then walled it out. Yeah, so it actually worked awesome because I couldn't put a post in his back in his house or back behind his house because he didn't want me to mess anything up or change stuff. So I was really restricted and no food plots. So I did the bail. I could do the bail. So I did that, made a scrape. He was hitting it. But basically the way the property laid, there was like, they would go on either side of his like little trailer, and then they would go down into the ag field.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like sitting there, and he's in the tractor, like making this dirt track and building this race for Red Bull and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is impossible. And then he finishes the racetrack, and it's in the cornfield. So there's still like corn, I'm assuming, around down there, just like any cornfield. The harvest isn't perfect. So he was still at night because I'd pick cameras down there. Way after dark, I'd get pictures of him down there, even after all the tractors would leave and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when the race was finally over, I'm like, okay, all I got to do is get him on a doe, and I'll kill him.
Yeah.
So I think it was like November 12th or November 13th. I'm sitting there in the evening, and I freaking look up, and I see a doe coming down through the timber. Now I can't hunt in the timber, so he has to be on this little 11-acre track. So I look, and I'm like looking behind the doe, and I see this freaking giant side. He had over 100-inch on one side. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Big Tony, I'm like freaking out. And then I realized, I'm like, dang it, they're going down that other trail because they basically go on either side. And so he's going down the other trail. And I'm like, the only way I'm going to kill this deer is if I get out of this blind. So I literally get out of the blind, spot and stalk, and I get up to around this corner, and I'm like waiting, and the doe comes down in front of me, and I range her, and she's at 49. And then I see him, and they're on the property. I can hunt and everything. And I range him, but I'm hiding behind the freaking mobile home. So like, it's like the most ghetto thing you've ever seen in your entire life. I'm like hiding behind this, and I reach around and range. I'm like, I am never posting this video ever, because taken out of context, it's like I'm hunting a city deer, and it's not. It's literally in the wide open. I will send both of you guys the exact map of where I was,
hilarious,
so you can see for
Yeah.
yourself. And you'll never believe this is how I killed this deer. And so I range him, and he's at 52. So I go behind the mobile home. I break my sight to 52. I go full draw, and I like creep around, and he sees me. He's like, what the heck? And so I literally shoot 52 quartering inch straight through the shoulder, and it just passes clean through with the beast. And he runs 50 yards. I get it all on video. He runs 50 yards, falls over dead, and I'm like freaking cloud nine. But as I'm running to the back in this backyard, he has this like this propane tank that you can see, and he literally dives right on the other side of the propane tank, like back there. But it's in the background of the video. I lose my mind. I'm obviously so excited because I hunted this deer every day for weeks.
That's a lot
I
in on
finally
him.
killed him. Yeah, and so it's a crazy story, but it goes back to show you, like, I mean, and it goes back to show you, like, every deer has its own kryptonite of how to kill him, and the only strategy I had to kill that specific deer was that exact move. It was my only play, and I'm very fortunate I got him.
Take me